Alright, good morning, good day. This is the African Crypto Warlord. I hope you guys are doing well. We will be looking at a couple assets this Easter weekend, and I wish you guys all the best. And we'll be looking for the coming open on Monday for some of them and whatever has to result. What we're looking at here is all these assets are displayed on the 7-day. Okay? And then furthermore, each one of them have been placed from a statistically significant candle that hasn't shown its face since. So currently the last one was in 2020 of Feb for DXY. Now, what is the general idea? The general idea is this orange line that you see here is the mean. Okay? Is where everyone uses the word mean reversion. That is the line they are talking about. The pink lines, those are ranges. Right? It pretty much wants to be trapped in the range, the pink lines and the orange lines, until it finds a direction. When it breaks out of either the pink lines, it initially wants to go test one of the blue lines first. If it can hold above or below one of these blue lines, it will go test the further outliers. Furthermore, that's the limit to the cone, and then we know that we have full mean reversion in play. As you can see, this all talks. Alright, so I'm going to go back here and bring us to the current. So we've seen a whole bunch of nonsense happen since 23 September 2022, and what's happening here? We have lost the trend to the upside, right? We've bounced off the pink and we started to close below the pink. Okay, what can we see? That this is the new range. Okay, this is for $DXY, and I say 3 months or whatever, but this is the range, 10% to the downside. Okay, so what happens if DXY goes down? What's going to happen to the rest of the assets? That's the question. And furthermore, if DXY just reclaims 102.68, it'll want to push for mean reversion at 1017 until we have very low volatility again, which doesn't look like that will happen in the next 64 days. Alright, so DXY's going down. What is happening to the rest of the assets? And at the end, I'll do a shuffle through of all these assets. Okay, this is the SPY. Alright, as we can see, it's on the opposite side of DXY. It's wanting to break up, okay, back into this range over here, these two blue lines. So if it maintains above 405.46, it's already come for its mean reversion. If it holds above 406.04, you can look for mean reversion to 490. And let's go look at the volatility. There's no contraction in volatility anytime soon. So that could be until June 20th, 2023 that these targets are within reach. But if you start failing here, 407, you will look for 363. Okay, that is its safety zone. If any bullshit happens, this is its safety zone. As long as it keeps on closing above here, it's bullish. Alright, this is the dump trump. I don't need to go and backtest my data when I've got a gap test to tell me that I'm perfect. Alright? Fuck. I was out by 10 cents. Never have taken the trade. Like, come on. Okay, so let's be realistic on how we utilize math just to use it in the long term. Alright? Okay, so as we can see, DXY wanting to close below the pink range and head for this side, which is a 10% to the downside. Currently for SPY, its range is 21% to the upside. Okay, wow. That is another coin for another time. But this is when all these coins are in the same model. They're in the same Laplace distribution from a statistical candle, with the same settings like open or where the data is being sourced from, closed, high, low, close, whatever it is, but they're all the same except for silver. So we can see this one's wanting to break up. Obviously, if it fails here, we can see back to the mean at 10%. Okay, we'll just leave this here because currently it's bullish as it's maintaining above the pink line. Let's go look at the Russell. So Russell 2000 is pretty much all the companies that are outside of the S&P 500. It's pretty much range bound. So all these other companies, this will be their range. So to the downside, wow, that's actually quite big. It's like trading Ethereum. Okay, to the downside is 7%, 7.7%. Just to get out of this range is 8.3%, but this is its general range. Alright, so we can call for 25% variance. Okay, if it starts breaking outside of one of those blue lines, ideally it wants to mean revert back to this perfectly touched orange line that's been generating a lot of noise. That's its bullish trend. Let me not be stupid, but I don't know what happens in the world economy at 3,150 when Russell gets there. But if that was to happen, it needs to break out of these ranges here. So that bottom side is 1,651. The top side is $2,099. Let's go look at gold. Okay, so let's just do this slowly. DXY down, looking bullish. SPY, RUT, stuck in a range, stuck in a rut, as we would say in motocross. Gold, on its definitely not wanting to stay within the trend over here, quite bullish every time it gets in there and out. Now, it has an outlier event occur, so gold might go on a tear. Like, you can get quite excited if the news says $2,186 for an ounce of gold or whatever it is. That's trading to the upside, but it's only going to get there at $2,050. Okay, let's do some more, because this is what we do. We trade percent. We don't trade anything other than that. So we look for percent, because volatility is made in percent. So there's a 10% variance from this current thing that's holding the trend, 13 to the downside, and 12% to the upside. Okay, so with DXY going down, you would expect this thing to go up, but as you can see, there's levels here just by these previous highs that can level it out. Alright, but here's another thing. If it does get up here and it just holds up here for a couple weeks, and this blue line starts creeping, it becomes quite a bullish structure if the blue line extends out like this. Let me just draw like that. There. It's about as close as I get to chart art. Okay. There. So let's say it does hold in this region and goes up and comes down. This is now bullish. Okay. That is a bullish posturing that's formed to keep it going up. Furthermore, if it closes below here, we are looking for 1,692. Any closes below 1960. We're going to silver. Okay, so silver broke its model. It left the cone. It's the only asset that has drift off, but the same input settings. So I've needed a symmetrical cone to read this data, because it's the only cone that is capturing the latest volatility flash. It's perfectly lined up in December 2015. Okay. Now silver is going to be a little bit more hard to trade, but what I will say is its general idea is it holds above this pink line, okay, under skew. Why did I move that thing? Holds above this pink line, it mean reverts. Oh, it doesn't mean revert, it looks for random walk to the upside to $38. It's pretty high, previous highs in this region. Let's say it does break that. I'm just showing you that there are targets now to the upside. Oh my god, 300%. Let me start getting rid of that, because that's getting a little bit crazy. But it only gets there if it holds above $21.250 and can break out of 26. Okay, its next upside target is $31, just a higher high. Okay. Now, because it's holding above the pink range, we are looking for the blue line. I can't speak for silver as of yet, but I will shuffle on the volatility indicators as we come back. This is Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin is suffering, unlike let's say gold, who's breaking out to the upside of these blue bands. Bitcoin is having a resistance here. So I know you guys, if you have watched my Bitcoin streams, you haven't seen this cone, and some of this data I gotta keep private, man. I gotta keep an edge as well, you know. So the general problem here with Bitcoin is it's pretty much signal processing on my previous distribution coin that I've displayed on the 7-day time frame on my previous streams. So it's signal processing around there. The general idea is if it closes below 28.13, which is pretty much $20 below where Michael Sayer bought his Bitcoin, so $13 below where he bought his Bitcoin, you look for mean reversion down to 18,311. These obvious targets to stop it: 21,408, 24,980. If it starts breaking above and holding above 29,382, you look for continuation to $55,400, $55,400 we'll say, 47,600, 40 grand 400, $34,421. Right, those are the upside targets. That is where we're at, guys. So this can still be a trend. I think there's a lot of money to be made if it actually doesn't go up. There's a lot of money to be made if you just make noise here for many years. Anyway, off to Ethereum. So Ethereum pretty much acting like the Russell over here. Okay, stuck in its range, looking for mean reversion to quite a big number. I don't think this thing's been here before. 13 grand. First stop is now clear of the highs at 6 grand 700. Initial pit stop that is within the data set is $2,600, and generally it will get there if it starts closing above $2,021, and it won't get there if it starts closing below $17,000. Okay, so very much like the Russell, it's stuck in the blue range over here. We will just do seeing as this is halfway, we can do a measure move. That's 48% to the upside, that's 30% to the downside. Yes, there's previous data on this coin. So now we move on to Litecoin. Okay, so we can see that Litecoin here, mean reversion phase, is still below current highs on the 7-day, not as good as Ethereum, and that is sitting at $134. Here will be a nice trappy range over here, so you can just say trappy range from $98.37 to $86.23. Trappy range. Obviously if it fails here, wants to go here, it's already done that. Holds above here, wants to go back up and maybe test 126. If it doesn't fail, 98, 307. Alright, a little bit more noise to be processed here, but quite a lot of decent trades to be had at these lines. If it holds in this range above the pink, you are looking for a mean reversion through mean reversion play to 181. Here are some higher targets that I would use for $490 and $900. Oh shit, and 1005. Okay, trappy range. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to show you guys the currencies that I look for, and hopefully, or the currencies that I have to deal with, and the currencies that I trade against. Okay, so this is the South African Rand. This was in 2015. Alright. What you're looking at here is $1 equals 12 units or 18 units. So look at it as $1 equals 18 units. So let's say Coca-Cola costs you $1. Over here in February 2018 it would have cost me 11 Rand, but now it's costing me 18 Rand. So it's costing me about 80% more than you. Now, getting back to why I use this strategy and why it's so significant in understanding how your volatility is moving along on your page is these are the ranges. Okay, and if this goes up, it means that the South African Rand gets weak to the dollar. So like if you guys were to come here now with your $100, you could maybe stay in a 3-star hotel for like a night. But then when it gets here, you could maybe stay in a 5-star hotel for a night with the same $100. Okay, so y'all want it to go up. People living here want it to go down. Okay, so here's the problem, South Africa. We are up in these ranges, okay, and we've now finally come in and we've smoked. We've closed off this range. Now we're wanting to see if we can close below it. All right, and why do I say this? It's because we have a new volatility flash. Okay, and this is how I know that I'm at a very significant point, because my statistical candle that's projecting my fucking Laplace distribution cone has now finally had, when there hasn't been a flash. It just so coincidentally happened, fuck me, 7 years later, perfectly at this blue line. No, come on. Backtest, do all the things you need to do, but man, when it's obvious, it's obvious. I don't overthink it, and I have all the data I need to verify what I'm seeing here. But this is what I'm seeing here, is that this range has now become a very important range for South African Rand. Okay, and with the DXY going down, it would technically help the South African Rand go down. Okay, let's just say the first target here is 16 and 14. What does this mean for me is, yes, what the chart you're looking at here is, guys, is when Bitcoin goes down, right, but the coin that I've been buying the fucking Bitcoin with goes up 60%, but Bitcoin only goes down 10, 20, 30%. I'm making 30%. All right, I don't spend dollars here. So for me to hold it against the currency I live with, I like, it's a hedge. So we don't necessarily I trade volatility on a very high time frame. Yes. All right. So like this is the Zambian kwacha. We haven't had flashes for a very long time, and now for the first time in a very long time, we moved pretty much 10% this week after Kamala Harris visited. All right, that's 10%. Let me hide that. So it's 10% down. All right, after Kamala Harris visited. Now, as Bitcoin dumps and as this goes down, what does that mean for a person living in Zambia? It means that the price of Bitcoin just became, let's say Bitcoin goes down 10% tomorrow and this thing's down 10%, it just became 20% cheaper for them to buy. So when this thing falls all the way down here to 15, and Bitcoin, let's just say, falls from 30 grand to 15, it's like there's a lot of money to be made. But in the same breath, when the crypto market pumps, right? When the crypto market pumps and then your fiat currency starts getting weaker against the dollar, like here, you want to take your profits and have that money. You can utilize that because this is free money, technically. Because you are trading crypto. And you're just taking the best out of your economy when most viable. Why buy a bond when I can hold dollars and it beats that? Furthermore, why hold a bond when I can hold it in crypto and it goes up, and then I can help them bat it down? Okay, so I hope this is helpful. What we're looking at here is we're looking at DXY wanting to mean revert down, and if that does happen, that means SPY goes up, which will mean Russell will break its range and gold has its new opportunity to hit the upside at 2,240 and print a new cone. Currently silver has broken its trend, so to me silver's a wild goose chase, and I'm ranging this sucker at $17.50 to $38. Bitcoin problem, DXY's dumping, it's not breaking through its range. Alright, so does it dump with DXY? That's not going to help Bitcoin. Now, as it dumps with DXY, as Bitcoin starts dumping with DXY, does Ethereum break its range like Russell? Alright, what's its range? 25,072, 2025, sorry, 2,588, $2,014, and $1,594. Litecoin just getting hammered. It's got a very tight range, so it will more than likely follow BTC. Be a good one to see if it's going to follow Dixie, follow BTC, follow Dixie, or if it's going to mean revert. Because if it is, then if Litecoin's getting a pump, then is it maybe alt season? And if it's alt season and this thing starts carry on pumping up because homies want to move to BRICS or something, and then have one of these countries' mints get robbed or something like that. It's like, come on, you live in a world of corruption. America already doesn't have gold in their vault, apparently. I'm not going to get there, but I can guarantee you South Africa's corruption ain't going to keep that gold in the vault. So like, what are we hedging against here? BRICS? Bullshit. So I think people can see through that, and that is a clear mean reversion phase to 24. It's going to kill the economy in South Africa. It's going to be very sad, but it means US dollars can buy it up for cheap. Our housing debt and stuff like that. So with this mean reversion phase here, I do think that a touch down to 16 rand, just because it's there, just throw everyone off, or a touch to 20 rand for continuation is very doable. And the kwacha, we're looking to try and beat the economy. This is when our previous president was elected. Give it 3 weeks, and confidence in the investors in Zambia smashed it down. We currently had a little bit of bad weather, putting in new policies, dealing with oil prices going all over the place, 1 month, 3 month things at the pump prices, just dealing with our bad debt. And Kamala Harris visited and gave us $7 billion. So I think this is them starting to maybe, not the government cash out the $7 billion, but maybe people gaining some confidence back in Zambia. And if the smart investor in Zambia had his dollars he cashed out here, he locked his kwachas in the bank to get like 10-20% APY. I hope this was helpful. African Crypto Warlord, out.